Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 7th grade science. Today we will be talking about organelles. Now, we have talked about how organelles are kind of tiny organs that work for the cell to digest their food and get rid of waste and create energy just like the human body. And these are animal cells, so these are the cells that are found in human bodies. We have looked at plant cells and specifically chloroplast, cell wall, and large vacuoles, which are very specific to plant cells. But today we're going to look at 5 things you can find in both a plant cell and an animal cell. So as we go through, let's make sure we're drawing pictures and taking our own notes. The very first organelle we're going to begin with today is the nucleus. The nucleus is this central circle here. Now, the outside has a different name, but that's a little bit more high school level, and we're not too worried about the nucleoid right now. What we care about is the nucleus. So what is inside of the nucleus is genetic material, or what we know to be called DNA. Again, fun fact, deoxyribonucleic acid. No, you do not have to know that that's what it stands for. So DNA is housed in this nucleus capsule. And this is specific to eukaryotic cells. U is true. They have a true nucleus. Let's remember prokaryotes have the DNA inside, but it's just not inside of a nucleus. So that is our nucleus. The next thing we want to talk about is this section right here between the outside and inside, this line that we see here. This line, this outside tissue, is called a cell membrane. Now, a cell membrane is inside of the cell wall in a plant cell, and it is covering the outside of the cell in an animal cell. And what this does is it decides or chooses or picks what comes in and out of the cell. Because my cells are floating around, I know that they want to take in water so that we can stay healthy. They want to take in glucose or energy for our mitochondria, but I don't want like a blood cell sneaking in here. I don't want a molecule of salt. So it's going to decide. So let's say this cell is specifically for girls. This girl cell is only going to let girls in. This cell membrane will only let girls into this girl cell. And vice versa. If this is a cell for redheaded people, only redheads will be able to get through this. It's the cell membrane is kind of the bouncer of the cell, like you would find at a club. They are the people who keep you out, security. They decide who comes in and who comes out. What we call that in science is S-E-M-I, semi-permeable. So semi means like ish, right? Kind of. Permeable means to let through. So the cell membrane is semi-permeable. Only lets through certain things. Okay, so that is our cell membrane. The third item we're going to look at is our mitochondria. This is this purple circle. You'll notice this looks similar to a chloroplast, which was a circle with green circles inside of it. This is another oval, egg-shaped, but it's got these little squigglies in here, these little squigglies. And this is a mitochondria. So what we call the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Powerhouse of the cell. It creates the energy. Specifically, energy in science is called ATP. Well, that sounds familiar, Ms. Humphries. Doesn't the chloroplast do that? Fantastic thought. You guys are geniuses. The chloroplast allows the plant to make energy from the sun and then take that energy and use it in its mitochondria. Animals cannot eat the sun. So we have a mitochondria to break down the food or glucose, aka sugar, to break down the glucose and sugar to create energy. So that's why when you eat a bunch of sugar, you get really, really anxious and then you fall asleep because your mitochondria have been working so hard. So they are the powerhouse of the cell, make ATP and make our energy for us. So the lysosomes, remember our vacuoles are these little purple situations here, and we know that vacuoles are the store our water, and notice how much smaller they are in the animal cell than the plant. And the next thing we're going to look at are these green objects here. These green objects here are called lysosomes. Lysosomes kind of sounds like Lysol, and we know we use Lysol to clean. So these are actually the cleaners of the cell. They actually come around and grab all the waste that is made by the mitochondria making energy. This whole situation over here with Golgi bodies that we're not really going to worry about, the cell makes waste and the lysosomes have to pick that up. Now, the way that they get rid of it is I always think of it like Pac-Man, like they go through and they eat or digest. The key word you're going to see when talking about lysosomes is digest. These lysosome Pac-Men come through and digest the waste of the cell. Now, remember that a eukaryotic cell, all of these organelles are membrane bound. So we have our cell membrane on the outside here. And then what's binding them, bound or holding them in place, is this other orangish color here, this section that it's all floating in. This is called cytoplasm. Cyto, C-Y-T-O, plasm, P-L-A-S-M, one word, cytoplasm. Now, the cytoplasm is a jello. Jello is going to be your keyword there. Jello-like substance that holds all the organelles in place. So our mitochondria is not just floating around bumping into our lysosomes, which is going to break open the vacuole. They are bound. They are held in place by cytoplasm, which is similar to a jello. If you put a toy like a little soldier man in a pot of jello and then you jiggle that jello, he's not going to move around, right? He's going to stay in the place. So we are actually going to be creating our own models, and I highly encourage you to use jello, but we'll talk about that more. So those are the 5 main organelles that are found in both plant and animal, their structure and their function.